everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It is episode 187 for October the 4th, 2022. And what have I been up to? Well, lots of things. I'm a busy boy. So let's just take a look. So what you see here is the top finished, it's hanging on my design board, of the One Block Wonder panel. Now, I was taking a class and I finished this up on the weekend while I was at a Zoom retreat. More about that later on. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Now it has to go on to Lucy to be quilted. I'm a little worried that some of the seams could open up. It says when you're doing this, or at least the instructor for the class, which is Hostess with the Mostess at Ultimate Sewing, she said, yeah, your seams may not all come out to be exactly 1/4 of an inch. Some might be bigger, some might be slightly smaller, and that was for sure. They definitely were. The one saving grace is that all these pieces come from printed panels, and printed panels tend to be, I have found anyways, less apt to fray. So that's a good thing. And yeah, I think I'll be okay. I was fairly careful with those, but there were just times when it was impossible to get the seam exactly 1/4 inch. And of course, this is not just piecing, but it's also applique as well. Would I do another one? No. No, I don't think so. It's an interesting concept, but I think for me anyways, this is a one-off. I'm glad I did it. I learned a new technique. Um, so, it's part of my toolbox of tricks, I guess. But anyways, it's very colorful. I'm not sure what design I'm going to use when I quilt it. Possibly do something because it's a bit of a water theme because that's a mermaid. Um, Maybe do it, with some waves or something like that. Uh, it's so busy that any kind of quilting I do is probably going to be lost in this. So I should do something, I think, with a fairly open design to it. That's what I'm thinking right now. We'll see. And when I get that part of it done, whenever that will be, I will show it to you. So I've started a new project, and this is one that's a kit. Uh, I bought this when we were during our fabric tour of London, Ontario, that is. And I saw it in the very first shop we went into. I think, what's that one called? Quilting by Design, something like that. It had this kit. This is Tula Pink, believe it or not. This is Tula Pink fabric, and it is flannel. I'm not a big fan of Tula Pink. I don't hate it. It's just a little bit, the colors for me are just too bold. But I saw this and thought this would make a very quick project, and it was very quick. I mean, you're just sewing rectangles and squares together. So it took no time to cut the fabric up, but it's boring. It's just boring. Um, it's busy, but it's boring. So I'm trying to make it less boring by embroidering some little Christmas gnome uh, pictures that I have on my embroidery machine. I have one up here done already. I'm going to put 3 of these. Each one will have a little different embroidered design on it. And I'm going to put them down here diagonally in the center of the quilt. This is just pinned on right now, so I can get the placement for the other ones. And once I have the placement finalized, I will applique these on top of the quilt. And I think I'm going to use a fairly bold thread color um, and a blanket stitch, kind of a chunky blanket stitch, if there is such a thing, because I want the appliquing to show up because it will now become a design feature. And then I'll throw it on Lucy and quilt the whole thing. Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So, um, that takes me to the next thing that I've been working on, and it's my Christmas socks. And here you can see I have 5 socks completely done. And I've shown you these before, but I've added an embellishment, and that's the snowflake that's on each one. And this is a freestanding lace snowflake, and I used variegated thread in my embroidery machine. And I think it turned out pretty nice with it. Now, I cheated on here, as I often do. These are not sewn onto the sock, they're glued with fabric glue. I don't think the suckers will come off, and just because I don't like to hand sew anything. So, yeah, I know you're probably saying, oh, you should get over it. But, if there's alternative methods that I can use, I will use them to avoid hand sewing. So, yeah, glued them with fabric glue. And I've got a few more of these to make. I want to make about 10 to 12 of these socks. I have a few more of them made. I just haven't got the embellishments created yet to put on them. But I will get to that because I have other projects in mind. And what are those projects, you may ask? Well, my sister has invited Walter and I to Thanksgiving dinner this coming Sunday. And yes, it's Thanksgiving here in Canada. We're always earlier than the Americans for Thanksgiving. So I don't like to go empty handed. She says, don't bring anything, but I want to take something. So I'm going to make her some Halloween napkins. I thought those would be just fun. And I have found a model on on the internet that I can use in my 3D printer to make cute little napkin rings. At least that's my theory, and I'm hoping this works out. I haven't started this yet. I have the fabric laid out. It won't take long to make the napkins because I'm just using my serger with these. Of course, I have to rethread the serger. Well, I have an air thread. It's not that bad. Um, and make these rings. They'll take a little bit of time, but they're not that complicated. And hopefully that'll turn out, and I'll give those to my sister when we go over for dinner on Thanksgiving. And that got me thinking about some other Christmas projects as well. So, yesterday, when I was at my class at Ultimate Sewing, I picked up 2 meters of two different Christmas fabrics, and I'm going to make some Christmas napkins too. And with some, I hope, with some 3D printed napkin rings that are festive looking things because I found some models for those too. So, yeah, if you saw my vlog yesterday, I was talking about I didn't have any ideas what to print now with my 3D printer. Well, now I have some. And these are practical, and I hope they turn out. So that's what I'm up to there. The other thing, which is somewhat quilting related, but not completely, is yes, it's October, and it's time to get out my Halloween decorations and start decorating. So maybe later today I'll get to that as well. I have a busy day planned. I mean, I've already wasted some of my time doing something that's unrelated to all of this morning. So now it's 7:30 in the morning and I've been up since 6 and I don't feel like I've got a whole lot accomplished yet. You have one of those days? So I'm trying to get myself back on track and focused. So, what else have I got for you today? Well, I have just put up a demonstration of how I make those Christmas socks in using my embroidery machine in the hoop design. And it take you from beginning to end this time with this because people have asked me to do that. Now I have obviously speeded up some of the footage because some of it, here it is, it's embroidering. Okay, that's fun. That's fun for about the first 10 seconds. You don't want to watch that for a half an hour. But so it's all there, and you'll get an idea of how a project like this is done from beginning to end. So I have a little teaser to show you about that video. The next stage in the process is to take your stocking top, which is going to go, let me get you in here, go into this space, and we have a guideline that was stitched earlier. So what you do is you take your fabric, this is my fabric, you'll notice I have more than I need, probably a little bit of overkill, but that's okay. So you lay this down and you want it to cover that line. You're putting it face down, um, right side down. You want it to cover that line, just go above that line by about 1/4 of an inch. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be a stitch drawn across here, sewn across here, and then we're going to fold this fabric back and then it'll be tacked down. So I hope you'll check that out. So that takes me to subscribers quilt of the week. This comes from Amy C, as in the letter C. I'm not sure what Amy's last name is. She signs everything Amy C. So I'm going to show you her beautiful creations. This week's quilt from a subscriber is from Amy C. And Amy C writes, quilt name is Practice Makes Perfect. It was pieced in March of 2021 and started quilting it on her domestic machine in March of 2021 and completed it on her sit-down long arm March the 2022. She says she thought the pattern Lotus Blossom by Cozy Quilt Design was a good one to learn free motion quilting and ruler work. She says, I would like to say that I'm aware that perfect in quilting is not realistic, but practice does make us better, I hope. And yes, this is beautiful, Amy. I love the quilting that you've done on this. And the back of it is also really nice. And I see that you used a few leftover squares as well, or blocks, to make a very interesting backing to this quilt. So this is really, really lovely. And I love cozy quilt designs because they're so well written and easy to follow. Well, it looks like your free motion quilting is definitely getting better with every project that you do. And yeah, like you say, practice makes perfect. So the YouTube channel of the week is one I find really interesting and scary. It's called the Opinionated Quilter. I have reviewed her before. She's a very stern looking lady. That's the scary part. But she's very, very knowledgeable. And she just recently put up a two-part series about Bernina machines. Now, this was in response to another YouTube creator who had a video about why they did not like their Bernina machine. And the combination of the Opinionated Quilters video and the one by Kristen from Scrap Fabric Love. Yeah, I hope I got that right. Sorry if I didn't, Kristen. Um, is a very nice balance. Uh, and I think if you're thinking about buying a Bernina machine, you should check both of these videos out about them because I think it will help you to make up your mind. So here is my review of the Opinionated Quilters two-part series about Bernina machines. This week's YouTube channel of the week is actually one that I have reviewed before, but I want to return to it for this particular episode. Actually, there's two episodes in this series, and this is from the Opinionated Quilter. And in these two videos, this one is called Responding to Kristen from Scrap Fabric Love Part 2. Kristen is somebody that I had interviewed in the past, and she is also someone who has a YouTube channel that I've also reviewed before. And this is sort of a rebuttal going on here about the Bernina sewing machine. It's very interesting because if you watch Kristen's YouTube video about her experience with the, I believe it's the B770 Bernina machine, she got rid of it. She bought it and she turned it in and got something totally different because she was not happy with that machine. Well, the Opinionated Quilter put together two videos explaining why the 770 Bernina is a really good machine. Basically, she is a dealer of Bernina, so of course she's going to support her brand. But I thought if you were shopping around for a new sewing machine and you were thinking about buying a Bernina, you should probably watch both Kristen's video about it and the two-part video series from the Opinionated Quilter, because I think it'll help you make up your mind a little bit more. They're both very thorough in their discussion, and they both make valid points for the machine, both in terms of pros and cons. So I'll have the link for this particular video in the show notes below, but if you do a search for Kristen from Scrap Fabric, her video as well, I think you'll have a very good opinion, or at least you'll have some ideas that will help you make up your mind about this particular machine. So, what's on my vision board? Another project, of course, that I'm not sure when I'm going to get to. I always have projects, tons and tons of projects. Sometimes they just get overwhelming, don't they? You have so many things you want to do, and you just don't know where to start. But anyways, I'm adding to my pile, and this one is something I have had for a long, long time. I probably bought this kit in the first year of when I started quilting. And it's not actually a quilt. It's a paper pieced project for making a Lone Star quilt. And I have just never gotten to it. So here's what I'm talking about. This week's pattern for my vision board is actually it's a type of kit, but it's meant for paper piecing, and it's from a company called Quilt Smart. And I have done one of their designs once before a long time ago, and they really make paper piecing easy to do, foundation paper piecing. This is for a Lone Star, and that's why I bought it. Now, I bought this probably 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, more like 4 years ago, and I have never ever done it. And I want to. So it's sitting in my little area where I keep kits that I want to get to very quickly. Now, this is not a kit per se that doesn't come with fabric. It is just basically printed paper that you sew on to create this particular design. Now, you can see that this design, if you were to do it conventionally, would have Y seams. But by doing it as a paper pieced pattern, you don't have to worry about Y seams. This is one I really got to get to because I think it's going to look really great. It makes a 58-inch Lone Star, it says, the feathered star variation. And I am assuming that that could be the center of your quilt, and then you'd add a few pieces around the outside of it, some borders and that, and you could make it whatever size you want as a quilt. Could also be a wall hanging, I suppose, as well. So yeah, this is one that I want to get to. And if you've never done a Quilt Smart pattern and you want to get into paper piecing, I think this is the way to go to get your feet wet because the instructions are very, very clear. So someday down the road, I'll get to that. Okay, so this week, I do have an interview for you with a really interesting and somewhat different creator because this is Lisa Marie Esposito. She is from Country Treasures. You may have seen her on Maria's Scrappy. Why can't I remember people's YouTube channel names? Uh, Marie's Scrappy Creations. That's who I wanted. Somebody else that I interviewed some time ago. And Marie had Lisa on her show, and Lisa reached out to me for an interview, and I thought, yes, great. She makes little items out of scrap fabric and things that are just, well, they're really cute. And she's a wonderful person to interview. She's been crafting for many, many years. She really puts the three R's into recycle, reuse, re I'm an idiot. Can't remember anything today. Sorry. But you know what I mean, okay? Anyways, I'm babbling here. Why not check out this teaser? So you basically most of your creations then, would you say, are customized that you people commission you basically to make things and they suggest to you what they'd like them made out of?
Sometimes, or I do if I have an inkling of something and I make something. I don't usually copy anybody's stuff. I have to say that yes, when you first start out, that's what you do because you figure if they made it, then it's good, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
But I rely on myself a lot of times to come up with these ideas. And just because I think it's cute or I think it'll sell doesn't mean that you're going to appreciate it or enough people are going to appreciate it that it's going to be something to keep doing. So that's one reason why I set up my Facebook group, is that way there I have a group of people that enjoy my creations. And that way there I kind of put them on there before I put them on my website, because if nobody on there says anything about them, or whatever,
Yeah,
you could get a sense of what might be popular to a
right.
broader in a broader spectrum.
Yeah. So that interview with Lisa Marie has been posted already on my YouTube channel, so do check it out. She's a wonderful creator. Okay, so that takes me to this week's review of an online quilt store. And it's more than just a quilt store. It's, it's a store I don't like. Or I didn't think I would like, and it's Len's Mills store. And this particular review is on the one, well, about their website, of course. But in this review, I do talk about why I did not like Len's Mills stores before, but now I have a new appreciation for them, if for lack of a better term. So, so here's my review of Len's Mills store. This week's online quilt store is actually not just a quilt store, but it is also a craft store and all kinds of miscellaneous items. And most people know of this store, and it's called Len's Mills. And Len's Mills is not some place that I really like. Um, my only experience up until we went to London, Ontario, was the one that was in Toronto, and that store is filthy. There's no two ways about it. It's just filthy. You need a shower when you come out of that store. And I didn't find much of a selection there. Things were not very well organized, and it was just grubby. So that was my first experience with a Len's Mills store. And people told me that I should check out the one in the London area. So I did. I went to the one in London, and I was very, very surprised, pleasantly so, because this store was very clean, very well laid out, and the selection of fabric was incredible. Now, yes, you have to, be aware of the different qualities of fabric that there are, but for the most part, it was very well organized, and most of it was at a very reasonable price. Now, is it so reasonable? Is it so inexpensive that you want to buy all your fabric there? No. But if you want a vast selection, this store has it. And there are some bargains to be had. So let's take a look, though, on their website to see what they're offering, because I'm talking about the physical store. The actual website encompasses all the Len's Mills outlets. I have never ordered from their store online, and I don't think I would. Um, but if I'm ever in the London area again, and actually the one that I went to was in Cambridge, come to think of it, it was on our way home from London, I would definitely go to that store again. So let's take a look at their fabrics and their prices. And you can see here they have a wide selection of fabric. Now, the way that this website is laid out, well, you have the sidebar here, and they deal in other fabrics besides just uh, quilting cotton. They have licensed designs as well. They have a list of prints in alphabetical order, which is nice. It is sold by the yard, but they also, at least in the store in Cambridge, had a price per meter. You might want to watch that because we did some looking at that price, and it looked like if you got it by the meter, it was actually a little bit more expensive. Not by a great deal, but it worked out a little bit more. Now, of course, mind you, when you're buying a meter, you're getting 39 inches, whereas you buy a yard, you're getting 36. So, just something to keep in mind. So let's just take a look here. You can see they have it all listed, what they have as far as their prices are concerned. But let's go to quilting cotton first of all. Let's find that. And where was that? That's up here. Okay. So here we have Kona, Designer Essentials, Buffalo Creek, O Canada from Northcott. They have most of the major designers I found. And this is a pretty good price right here. Now we call it flower and print. Well, there's some K Facet I see in there. Some at the Northcott. The prices all vary depending on the brand. Um, Looks like for solids as low as $9.99. Well, there's $7.99 here as well, up and up. But it looks like their high-end price is around 17 or $18 um, for fabrics. And as I said, there's a lot to choose from. So let's just pick one of these. Let's take a look at, oh, just for the sake of it, let's look at Disney prints. That's not something I buy. Drawn Mickey Mouse. Oh, well, that shows only one. Hmm. Well, that's not much of a selection, is it? Well, Mickey and Minnie Mouse prints, it says, but it only shows that one. Let's look at Christmas prints. Oh, I see how they do it. They have a pull down menu. Okay, there was a lot more to choose from in the Cambridge store on the shelf for Christmas prints than what they're showing here. And that's, oh, they have sold out online. Okay. I think you might be better off going into the actual store itself. Let's see what else they have. Fabric, Pellon interfacing. Now, we found their interfacing was a little bit on the pricey side, although it doesn't seem that bad. What are they asking for SF101? $13.99? Now it's a yard. Taking into consideration that's a yard. I think he can do better. Steam a seam, etc. But, if you don't have a store near you, this might be an option. Let's look at what other things they have. Yeah, batting. The batting, I don't think. Oh yeah, batting is by the yard. You can buy it by the yard. Um, they have Pellon. They have prepackaged. Doesn't. I don't remember seeing Hobbs batting. I wonder if this tells us the prepackaged. Um, it's Len's Mills. It's their own brand. I'd be iffy about that. I'd be iffy about that. I'd want something that's a brand name. Now, of course, they have other things like yarn and crafts and all kinds of things here as well, but we are focusing on the fabric. Now, I thought I saw one for pre-cuts. Yes, pre-cuts and kits. Now, looking through it, these were a lot of discontinued, at least in the store. However, they were wrapped up, but price-wise, I didn't think they were any better than going to a regular quilt store. Um, what else can I say about this? Not a heck of a lot. Len's Mills to me is not a destination for picking up all of your quilting needs. However, on an occasion, if you're in the area, checking them out is good. Online, I don't think I would buy from them online. I don't know what their shipping policies are, which is interesting. What is their shipping policy? Um, they have shop local pickup, but if you want it shipped, let's see, do they have order shipping and return policies? I'm just skimming through this shipping policy. We can ship orders within Canada and the United States. All orders are shipped via Canada Post. Shipping for Canadian online orders over $50 before taxes is free of charge. Oh, that's okay. Standard postal rates apply to Canadian orders under $50 and orders sent to the USA. Okay, so that's not bad. $50 free shipping might be worth it if you saw something here that you really wanted. Okay, so that's about all I can say about Len's Mills. I have a love-hate relationship with them, I guess. I like looking around in their store, a clean one, not the one in Toronto. I don't need an extra shower after I come out from shopping. Um, but generally speaking, I wouldn't go out of my way to go to a Len's Mills store to buy my quilting supplies. So that brings me up to almost the end of today's episode, but just some updates about a few things. One, Craft and Chat. Craft and Chat happens on the first Wednesday of every month. First Wednesday of the month is tomorrow, if you're watching this on October the 4th. So tomorrow's October the 5th. So we will be having Craft and Chat. All are welcome to join in. It starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, runs until about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link for that is in the show notes. Come work on whatever, enjoy a little bit of discussion, maybe, or whatever, sharing and learning. And yeah, all are welcome. And that means everybody. If you're making something, doesn't matter what it is, come join us if you want a few hours of, working with fellow creators. Also, to let you know, last week on Wednesday, I was available to do a sew and craft with me session. I was working in my sewing area all day, and so I activated the link, and a few people did join me, and it was fun, and I really got a lot done. It was inspiring, keeps my creative juices flowing. So, I've had a few people reach out to me wanting to know what my schedule is for those. There isn't a schedule. It's a permanent Zoom link. It is located in the show notes below, which means that it never changes, it never expires, but I never know when I'm going to be available. So if I am available, I activate the link. And if for some reason, you're working away and you think you'd like some company, then if you click on the link, within 1 minute, I will let you into the Zoom. And if you're not let in within a minute, it means I'm not there that day. So yeah, you never know. So the best way to approach this is you're working one day in your sewing room, your craft room, and you're thinking, I'd like to, connect with some other people and work along with them. Um, Click on my Zoom link. If I'm here, then yay, we'll work along together. So that's the best I can give you, because it depends on what I'm doing. I can tell you there probably won't be one this week because I'm busy with a whole lot of other things that I have to do. So whatever. Plus I have craft and chat, right? That's Wednesday. So yeah. But anyways, it's there. Had a few people last week. It seems to work not too badly. So I will continue with that as well. Um, what else? Uh, I am going to be this Saturday morning at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. this Saturday coming. What's the date? October the 8th. On with the guy who sews, Sean, on his YouTube channel. He does a live every Saturday morning, and he often has guest um, creators. And so I'm a guest creator. So I'll be working on something, he'll be working on something, and we'll be chatting with other people that come on to the live. So to check out what the link is, as I don't know what the link is, you'll need to do a search on Saturday if you're up early enough um, for the guy who sews YouTube channel, and you should find it right there. So I hope you're able to join us for that. I'm looking forward to it. Sean has become a friend. I interviewed him some time ago, and ever since then, we do stay in communication. And we still have to talk about doing a collaboration of some sort. Yeah. But he's busy. I'm busy. Everybody's busy. Busy, 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 busy people. Okay. And now, retreat update. Okay. October 22nd is my fall retreat, the Idiot Quilters Fall Retreat. And I do have links to information about that in the show notes, so check that out. It's filling up very quickly. I posted it about 10 days ago. I guess it's been now since I had the official posting about registering for it. Yes, you have to register for it if you didn't know that already. And I'm up to 72 people have already registered. I can only handle about 92. So I've got about 20 places left. So if you have been thinking about joining but haven't got around to it, joining, I mean registering for it, make up your mind really quick. You snooze, you lose. Um, because it is filling up quickly, and I'm really overwhelmed by the response. I mean, I've run these before, and each time I've had more people, but this has been so far, this is the most. And if I do fill it up, uh, I will still create a waiting list because I know there will be a few people, life happens, who won't be able to join us. You know, they'll figure that out a few days before. And so I'll open up a spot or spots for anybody on my waiting list at that point in time. But I won't know who to put in there from the waiting list if you don't try to register. I mean, if you come on and you're able to register, and you'll know that you registered because I send you information with the links and everything right after you have registered, and I have you in the system. So you'll know all of this stuff. And there'll be more updates coming out to those of you that are registered about the agenda of for the day, more details about the speakers, things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will probably lose most of my hair after that day. I mean, I'd say it would go gray, but yeah, that's not happening. Already has. Um, I don't get any sewing done at those retreats. I'm manning 3 computers as I do it. And that is just fine with me because this retreat is not about me, it's about you. Yeah. So come, you'll enjoy it. You'll have fun. Believe me, you will. Because I will make you have fun. Yes. So if you want to register, send me an email telling me you want to register. Give me your full name, first and last, please. I have to have first and last, and I need your email address that you wish to be contacted with. Now, usually that's the email address that's it's in the from part of your email you send to me. But if it's different from that, please tell me so, because that's the email address I'm going to use to communicate with you with other updates. Okay, so I think that's all I've got for you today. Do check out all the links. There's quite a few of them under my resource section in the show notes. And yeah, I hope to see some of you tomorrow at Craft and Chat for those of you that can make it. And have a good one. Have a creative week. And we'll see you later. Bye bye for now.